My name is Jim Bann. I'm an associate professor of chemistry here at Wichita State. I've been here for a little over 13 years now. I arrived in 2004 and am a biochemist by training. Got my PhD at Oregon Health Sciences University in Portland, Oregon, and then I moved to Washington University in St. Louis where I did a postdoc. Very proud of my family. I have 6 kids. So the idea was to develop a treatment for anthrax disease. As if you remember, shortly after September 11th, there were the anthrax attacks. And around 2004, right when I arrived, is when I started working on this protein that's secreted by anthrax called protective antigen. And we were interested in its pathology, how it worked and its function. And one of the things that it does is it forms this membrane-spanning pore. And we thought if we could figure out a way to block that process, that might lead to a therapeutic to treat anthrax disease. So the idea behind the patent was really to try to block that process. And we thought that we could do that by biosynthetically incorporating this novel amino acid called 2-fluorohistidine into the protein. So then we thought, well, let's try to patent this idea that we've developed this new protein that could potentially be used as a therapeutic to treat anthrax disease. And so that sort of started that whole process of trying to get a patent for it. We partnered with a company called Sologenics to do some animal studies. This is a company that was developing a new anthrax vaccine. And our hope in those animal studies was that we would get a greater immune response. But what we found is that and these were studies that were done in mice, that both the wild-type protective antigen and the 2-fluorohistidine protective antigen gave this exact same immune response. We haven't pursued that actually any further than just those initial animal studies. But the next stage would be to carry out a larger study where we would potentially infect animals with anthrax and see if adding the 2-fluorohistidine protective antigen would protect the animals from being infected. Oh gosh, David Copperfield, for sure, by Charles Dickens. Cool Hand Luke. Bicycling. So I do a lot of gravel riding, gravel racing, which I've been doing for the past couple of years. English was my favorite. Well, no, I would take that back. Biology was my favorite subject. I had an awesome biology teacher. I think, if you've got a good idea, if you feel like it's a good idea, it's worthwhile pursuing, that as a potential patent. But it's good to get feedback from others that are in your field. And I certainly talked to a number of people about this whole idea and whether or not they thought it was a good idea potentially to patent it. And these are people that are obviously not in my field, but where you respect their views, and these were good scientists. These are former mentors of mine who I knew I could rely on for good advice.